Okay, welcome back to Jaraci Cup 4, to Group A. Gonna continue casting of, well, Group A, I guess I already said it. We'll just jump into it. It's gonna be me versus Descara here, starting on the shallows, playing as Soban. Let me open up the info.txt real quick. Like. DD terrorist open, dude. No benefits. Hope you didn't think that was real. Okay, so we start the pick ban sequence with me picking Soban here. He picks Coalition, I pick Shallows. This is pretty predictable. This is actually a pretty bad pick for me, I think. Obviously I have a build that I'm planning in mind here, but I've done it so many times that I think he kind of knows exactly what's going on. But we will play this game out and see how it goes. For game 2, he will pick Coalition, I'll pick Galzian, and he will pick Kalash Teeth. And that's a really good pick from him because Kalash Teeth is the kind of map that, personally, I just don't feel good on it, but also I often have trouble against Coalition on that map. So I think the pick ban is definitely a lot better for Descara in this series, but doesn't mean this isn't winnable. Now, I was wondering in patch, I was thinking that when you're doing SC first, that going 6-up is always best here, even on shallows. But A-Game is kind of calling that into question, and you know, I don't know the math on it. I don't think anyone does, so I'm wondering what your thoughts are on whether 8-up or 6-up is better here. And I know you don't like saying 8-up and 6-up, but I have a bigger voice than you, so I win. So just get over it. LEV Fab gonna come out for me a little bit later for Descara, it looks like, due to I think he built an extra salve here. Yeah, it isn't in vanilla, but it definitely will be in patch, just because of the salvager cost change. What about in CBC matches, though? SC is pooping out now. His will be following just after. I am doing just a bit of scouting with the probe here. I see the base runner, I see the probe, so I think at this point I pretty much know what he's doing. This probe actually I think is probably not necessary. Like I could have just not built it, but because I mean we kind of know what's gonna go on here. Maybe I was just thinking, you know, play it safe, better than sorry. AV Fab starts. That's integral to this build. We need to get to assault cruiser tech pretty much the fastest we can. Gonna go for a probe snipe here, but I don't think I'm gonna get it. I should clarify what I meant is that I'm not sure that going 8-up is actually an eco boost at all, but again, we don't know the math for that. Do you need to on shallows though? I feel like it's probably okay. Artifact gonna get picked up by me here. AV Fab finishes just now. Plus, I mean, it's you, so I kind of know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? Did I start the recording? Oh shoot. Yes, I did. Ha. Nice. I'll put these up to YouTube right after we are done with the stream today. Using the classic uploader because it's like way better in every way than the new one. Freaking big corporations and their updates, they're just all terrible. When will they freaking learn? That's kind of off topic. AV Fab finishes for Descara as well now. AC Fab gonna get started for me pretty much immediately. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I thought it was going to anyway. There you go. But Descara here already going for let's just play in the dark. Okay. I mean, that sounds fine to me until a point where the Jaraci patch kind of solidifies a bit more, and then that kind of unit testing will be more helpful after the patch has kind of stayed still for a couple of months, you know. Regardless, Fighter and Gunship going to be coming out for Descara. Carry production is timed very nicely for it. And the danger here, of course, is if he's already got fighters and stuff, you know, he should be able to hold off the AC attack pretty nicely. Assault cruisers are really quite squishy against air, even when they get the upgrade. They do damage back to it, but they're still quite squishy to it. I think we saw that in the games with Frosty. And so, this is a really good counter. I'm not trying to do that. No, making changes is great, right? It's just that eventually the goal, I think, has to be to reach like a stable state. One, like, you know, no esport ready title reaches a stable state, but they don't change that much, you know what I mean? And so eventually, to get to a place where we feel good enough about it that we can leave it that way for like a couple of months or something, you know? But I mean, these are long-term goals. It's not like the patch changing now is bad. You know, we get people saying that, people like Catharsis, for example, but like, I don't buy it, you know? Like, the fact that the patch changes does not make the competitive gameplay irrelevant, I would say. That's true, but that was mostly because no one was really playing in the interim time. Freaking Isaac here gonna get away with like a sliver of HP, like 2 more shots and he would have died, I think. We already have 5 strike fighters either in the hangar or about to be built here. And the 2 ACs are on the way, but there's no anti-air on this field really at all for me. I can set down a turret when I need it, but this is pretty bare bones. Now I also don't have scouting on it. This is probably where the probe should have been during these moments here. Probably ought to have just popped out there and seen that. We do see with the reveal of the strike fighters here on the probe though, so he finds doesn't just die to everything. It dies to a lot of things that can be accidentally blind countered, but it doesn't die to everything, I wouldn't say. Anyway, probe finds that we don't have time to get back into the base and stop this from happening, so I think we are going to be in some trouble here. Probably just setting down the anti-air turret post right here would have been better than waiting for the base runner to get back home. We are going to lose cells. We can replace them, of course, but this is a loss for sure. Meanwhile, descara going to be expanding up onto his 3rd base here. I think he has an SC plan out right now. So, despite him having the earlier attack, I mean, yeah, it's not like the best damage, but the thing is, like, you had the early attack, but I am still behind on eco. You're up on 3 base and I'm not, so this is definitely, you know, this is a good position. This is where you want to be. ACAA is finished now. Strike Fighter's going to go down here. Actually, quite a few of them. Oh, I thought the second one was going to get killed there. It looks like it didn't. He gets away then, so he loses 1 Strike Fighter for that. Yeah. It looked like he was going to die, but ACAA has a pretty long recharge time, so it didn't end up firing it the second time there. He's already got some rails up on this high ground, though, and this is probably going to be inassailable for now. So fighter and gunship's going to be the choice for me now. I'm hoping that I can use the fact that I have these mobile ground AA platforms to my advantage, but honestly, I shouldn't even push in here. Like, I know that he's got the advantage in some way. I could go here and then try to, like, tac missile barrage. That's sometimes a working strategy. Honestly, it wasn't really in my mind at this point, but here's the rails, and I think they're going to catch these ACs off already. Overcharge getting used on both of them, but this one's definitely going to die. I think Eric could probably just overpower this one and kill it, to be honest. Oh, it didn't die. It lives. That's pretty good, actually. But it should die to the air now. Yeah, here it comes. Didn't even fire off a missile before it went down. That's interesting. Extraction does come through. That's 2-0 for me. That's not bad. Sport Cruiser anti-air are going to come out now because I see that my anti-air platform idea is not really going to work because these guys are getting killed. And I still got to deal with all these railguns here, so what do I do about it? I think it's around here I decide I'm going to tech the bombers. It's going to take a while to get there. I think I really need a lot of LAVs in the meantime, but what are you going to do, you know what I'm saying? SC finishes, we can move out the carry just a little bit. I don't think it really does much for us, but at least we can. We have some good artifact pressure, and that's one thing that we've got going for us in this game. Overcharge used there, because I'm near the SC, I'm going to get healed by him anyway. I felt like that was justified. But I do need to be careful. The air units could actually just snipe this thing still if it gets on its own. You know, kind of exactly like what I'm doing right here. We also got to be worried about these railguns. So, there's a lot of stuff to worry about on this field. SCAA gonna finish in like 10 seconds, so it's pretty much there. Yeah, I agree, but they're doing just fine. I'm not really getting a good counter to them, so. Posturing, I love that word. Yes, definitely. I should have been putting anti-air turrets, unless you're talking about yourself here, but I think that's the biggest thing I was missing. Like, right when I saw your strike fighters, I should have come back and set down a turret as close as I could. And that would have really mitigated the damage on my main quite a bit, I think. I do have quasi anti-air superiority right now, but I still need to deal with all these railguns. If we get into a prolonged, you know, strike fighter battle, it's not going to be great for me. I also am pretty bad on scouting. Like, I should have seen this before I got to here. I should have seen it when it was, like, there. Now this AC gonna feel very helpless against these rails. Well, weren't you considering reducing the speed though, A-game? I thought that was one of the things that was kind of in the works here. Anyway, gonna take a fight kind of over the anti-air here. I'm trusting that his strike fighters are not gonna be able to stop me, but the anti-air dies pretty fast, so that's no longer gonna be the case. And I don't think I'm focusing on his strike fighters, so he actually manages to take the better end of that engagement. Carrier's just kind of flomping out here. Got a bunch of power I'm not using. That would be nice to allocate, but you know, you can't have everything. Sport Cruiser finishes right here, needs to head back to support the third base, which means Carrier probably at this point has to come back and just heal. And that's always a bad place to be, you know, you don't want to just be healing with your Carrier, but sometimes it's kind of unavoidable. These strike fighters, meanwhile, I think they could really do more by trying to... Oh no, look at that waste of missiles. Trying to hit these railguns here, but they're out of ammo, so they're going to head back. And now we're going to start teching to bombers finally, but this is not really a good field for bombers. Fighters turn out to be the, I think the best counter to bombers, is what A-game was saying. And I can see what he means, like it's so much more reliable that you're going to kill them this way. You know, the bomber doesn't have that survivability that it does in, you know, anti-missile battery games, like what we saw with Gaudy Weaves and Frosty Teeth. Yeah, it's really just bomber. That's like kind of the only thing I had going through my mind here. This is way too many SCs, right? That and like maybe carrier? Nah, that can't be true. I haven't even started teching it. I think maybe I was a bit out of my mind here, but I'm not totally sure. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I do need to hold my bases, it's true, but I should not make any more than that. But again, I think I'm thinking, like, I'm putting too much weight into this idea of a mobile AA platform that I can use to kind of leverage the superiority of the bombers. It's kind of a fun idea, but I don't think it's going to work. Actually, I played this game, so I could tell you exactly what was going to happen, but whatever. And one of the reasons for it is anti-air turret posts, and you can see there's already 3 out here. There's going to be like a 4th setup, probably, by this guy. And that means, sure, I can suppress his air units, but that doesn't mean that mine have free reign. That's not the only thing that's actually hitting me, so... Bomber is being built now. Yeah, now it's in the hangar. So we need to kill these rails with the bomber. That's definitely first priority. The good thing about this turret strategy is that... The good thing about this turret strategy is at least they're not very mobile. We can kind of punish them like this. Yeah, see, I think he knew kind of what was coming here, so it was not an overbuild, you know what I mean? Like, this is going to be really good for him. Bomber probably will die here. He's only killed 1 rail. Oof. And yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Like, look at my float, you know, I have like 2,000 CUs right now. Like, I could make 20 LAVs, right? And imagine 20 LAVs right here, especially if I could keep them hidden a little bit. Yeah, perfect snipe by SF and then terrible snipe by the bomber, right? It's kind of bad. But this is where I kind of finally realized that the game had slipped out of control, but I chose to keep playing just for a little bit. I do have power 3 coming. I mean, hey, maybe he throws in some kind of terrible way, but after BC hits the field, it doesn't seem terribly likely. Which he does have. There's another one being produced. There's another one behind the carrier, so... I think around here I'm going to decide, like, yeah, it's not really worth playing this one out anymore, and I'll choose to surrender. No, I don't really notice them myself for a bit, so it's not like, watching. I don't notice them myself for a little bit. I'm in sensors the whole time. They look like SCs to me, and then I'm like, oh shoot, you just got BCs. Like, that didn't, you know, alter the course of the game. It just made me surrender a little faster, but... I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think if the LAVs had been built, I mean, again, like, this could be 26 LAVs, right? You know, we have a good chance, actually. We can kill rails, we can kill air turrets and stuff like that. But definitely, I'm in a bad position from this point already, so... Well, I mean, from this point, I'm in a very bad position. But, I mean, like, when I start building bombers, when I've lost the strike fighters over on this side. Yeah, definitely, definitely. BCs are fun, you know? I always saw the allure in a unit that's like slow like that, but if you let it get to you, you just freaking die. You know what I mean? That always kind of intrigues me, you know? Oh my gosh, this is a long post. Sure. I mean, everything in patch is a little bit less, like, memeably survivable. Are we? We're trying to play this game. That's... Oh my gosh. Autopilot, dude. I can just take these off. I mean, did you see that? Like, I set rally points. I like... Oh, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, if your idea of fun is things that are just objectively broken, then, like, that's okay. That's not really my thing, though. Sport Cruiser on the way now from Descaras. It's going to be SC first from him, Ref Mode first from me as well, so we're going to be matching greed here. This scanner position here is actually just kind of keep Descara guessing as to whether or not I'm putting down a scanner at all, but that shouldn't really change his build, I don't think. It's also to keep my base runner kind of out of the action a little bit sooner, because they're much softer in vanilla. You know, I don't want to lose them too easily. Skimmer Fab's on the way for me, so we're not going to be going greed here. Obviously, the greedy way to play Ref Mode first is that you start making salvagers after you queue it up before you get Sand Skimmer Fab, but I don't dare. Descara is pretty good at punishing like that. You know, he goes greed, but he also has counterplay that he, you know, pops on your greed. He tries to keep you in check, so... you... Well, no, you wouldn't have seen ping until like around here unless the probe caught it on the way in, but... It's an interesting idea. Now imagine if I was able to snipe probe with the base runner here like what A-Game did in his game against you, the second game on Kartova. That would have been sick. Doesn't happen though. Carrier's gonna come up here, it'll take out the probe. And this wreck will be open. Things are pretty normal here, although... Yeah, I mean, it does look like there's a lot of movement here. You probably would have seen it. You're checking for tech, right? I mean, that's what you really want to see here. Is that, you know, the probe hadn't been deployed yet, so if there's some tech coming out, like, things are going to be bad. You just sit on, like, the extraction, like, right here. Oh, I see what you mean, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, like, I could have moved it, like, around this way and then tried to come up. Or, actually, this would have been better, I guess, because then it forces the probe into the corner. Yeah, you can check for production on this carrier, right? Like, if this light is blinking, it tells you a PC is being made, basically, in the early game. Or it could just be really early honor guards. Greed, pound sign, pound sign, pound sign. Amazing. Oh yeah, it could be self, it's true. Artifact is capped for me. Another one will be capped for him as well, though, in short order. I see, so the probe is going to get killed maybe here? Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Sand Skimmer's coming out. I gave him a control group, dude. I'm trying to play the game here. This is silly. Anyway, Sand Skimmer's gonna try to come out here and see if they can do something to stop these LAVs from killing the base runner. With base runner heal, we should be able to win this fight. So Descara's gonna have to give us a little bit of respect here. There is, however, an AAV coming out, but I think we have assault rails already on the. No, they're not here. I agree, though. You know, it's becoming a little bit predictable for me that when I go greed, I really go greed, you know what I mean? So you can probably get away with a bit more of an extreme playstyle than what we've got here. This is still, you know, 2 base, no salvagers on the third. So you know that could definitely be like getting you more money. It's just it's dangerous, of course, but I'm becoming a little too predictable that way, I think. Assault rail is going to be built here just to try and stop the AAVs. That is going to cost me the base runner though, so he goes down. Skadoosh. But we shouldn't take damage to these AAVs if we're paying attention. We have 2 assault rails out on the field already. Oh yeah, that's true. You know, with this probe. I see the turret there. It's not going to kill this assault railgun. It does kind of get a little dangerously close, but this is one very nice thing about patch is that turrets don't just kill stuff when they see it anymore. Like, it actually has a chance to react and get away. But it is a little nervous, though, that this thing is on, like, so low HP. We would probably like to send this assault rail out there to help. Now, he's going to go ahead and target the third. I think that's really smart. Like, finding the weakness here is really, finding the weakness here is really not something that's easy to do. Like, it's really easy to miss it and just back away or go into the wrong place. But this is definitely where I need to be attacked, so this is good of him. Oh no, Sandskar's just kind of sitting there. They enjoyed the turret. You know, it feels good, actually. I like it. One more det pack. I think we could get this thing. We have the money for it, but yeah. I don't know. I feel like that could be handled a little better on my end too. I think one more det pack we would have killed it. But the damage is done basically now. It's not going to be any more than that. That's for sure. Assault rails, of course, when they get to this number, they can snipe the turret. It's not even really a consideration. I've got an anti-air. I'm going to start building it now too. I'm always just a little nervous about that. And what is descara up to right now? He's got AV tech, but nothing else. Is he floating? No. Wait, how's that even possible? Another turret, I guess. Oh my gosh, I'm so... Yeah, I'm very smart, descara. I can see these things immediately. Yes, he has rail tech. That's where his money has gone. He's actually begun to build them as well. Does he have mag? He's getting it, okay. Something didn't add up. I was like, certainly he must be spending more money than this. This is probably where probe dies, but this thing has been legendary. Like, descara probes, just, they get good information. It's unreal. Oh my gosh, what? You're joking. Crazy. I agree. Oh, what the heck? Oh yeah, well you lost 2 turrets as well. Okay, I was like, what is this? So yeah, that does make more sense. It's like 1280 against 820. I don't know. Do turrets count to the units lost tab? I don't think they do. I don't think this would make sense. Although I know the probe doesn't. So that just was another 150 added to it there. I think... Do I get dart maneuver here? I think I do. We'll find out though. I'm building a base sprinter right now. Some heavy rails coming out onto the field. I do sense that it's that time of year again. But this force of rails, if I choose to, I could maybe try to attack it and actually just beat it here. That is going to be my choice. And I think it's going to work. Yeah, this is going to be completely fine for me. Turret gets set down, but we should be able to kill that. And that, I think, was kind of unexpected, you know what I mean? But because normally, you know, once the rails come out, they just beat the assault rails, but not in this case, it seems. Indeed. I mean, that's a really bad thing to happen to you. My greed was already a bit more greedy, I guess. The attack here didn't really do too much damage, just one salve, and then suddenly these rails are going down. This is starting to spiral just a little bit. Not to say this is over by any means, but this is a dangerous position to be in. Honestly, I'm forgetting how this game ends, so I assume I win from here, but I really don't know. We'll find out. I could get Rail Armor 3, that's probably a good choice. I'm definitely floating a lot. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's true, that's true. Attempted a missile ship barrage there, it's not going to go through, but that's completely fine. I know Base Sprinter's getting terrorized by these AVs. He should be dead. Yeah, there's no saving that guy. Once Rail Armor 3 finishes, though, we have a lot of heavy rails out here. fun. Like I used to do this at the end of StarCraft 2 games to like inflate my APM stat. I would just give things tons of control groups and just like, you know, rub my hands around the keyboard. Anyway, getting ahead of myself here. So assault cruisers are out, and that's always really nice on College Teeth to just kind of plug the choke. Oh, you say stop, huh? Only I discovered if you did the same unit, it wouldn't work. So you had to do something like this, you know, and then if you did this, you could inflate your APM stat like that. You know, that's a really good question, but I think the better question is, why did I not go to bed so late? Anyway, back to the game at hand, though. So Assault Cruisers, like I said, they're very good on this. They're very good on this map. They plug up the chokes really nicely, and there's not very far to run. So if you can get control of this area, suddenly your backstab potential is very legendary. No AVs on. Oh, well, there's a turret, but that's not really going to be enough, is it? I think AC is going to go over there. You know, I can't call you a noob for that though, because this is what I do like every time. It's quite bad. Anyway, assault rails here are pretty scary. I mean, like, I can't deal with these rails of his directly just yet. Like, I'm not in position here, but like, they can even kill the AC. Like, I can't push out, you know. Yes, I think that is superbly funny. I tried assault chip styles for a while. I tried 2PC aggression, whatever, and then eventually I was just like, man, I like rails. And I'm back. You know? I mean, people say that in patch, you know, rail styles are like just nerfed into oblivion, they can't be done. It's like, that's just not true, you know. If you played, if you watched, you would know this is just not the case, but whatever. Anyway, this is going to be a pretty legendary backstab over here by this AC, but we've totally gotten control of this this hub here. And would have annihilated? Well, what do you have? Just 5 rails, right? And 2 ACs? Oh, you have more rails than I thought. Hold up. It's 11 to 9. But mine are kind of streaming in. I also have 2 BRs. I mean, they make a pretty big difference in rail fights, but anyway, we finally have range calibration, though. This is going to allow us to siege if we want to do it. We also are teching into siege. Oh, that's fun. But yeah, I mean, that's what I was actually saying during the game, though. So this backstab is really bad for me, by the way, but what are you going to do? What I'm saying in the game, actually, while we're playing it, is I'm saying, like, I know he's going for artillery, because I've seen these assault cruisers, I just knew it was coming, but I was like, I don't think he's got time, though. We have the artifact, and we'll just be able to win. And I think you weren't paying attention to the artifacts or something. Like, you said after the game, like, oh, shoot, I wasn't even, like, looking at that, but that's definitely kind of what I'm banking on. And I do get siege tech because I want to be able to compete with that kind of style, but at the same time, I don't really think I need to. Like, this just seems okay to me. Yeah, exactly. It's just too many things, right? You can't quite get any of them. There's no Savon. Yeah, it's funny because neither of us are even really close to that, you know. I'm on like power 3. You're on power 1, but we're still like mind gaming each other on like nukes and stuff. Yeah. Hilarious. But it is going to be win by extraction. So yeah, I think it all just crumbles when the rails die here. I think you're correct. You know, there's momentum lost here. We can't get any more extractions on your side of the field. Too many units are down. And now that I have field control, I can just crank out the artifacts here as you're wont to do on Kalash, and it's too much time to get the composition out that you're really looking for. And that's that. So I was happy at least to win one of them. 1-1 is good for me. Just spam rails. Just spam rails, just spam rails. I could have been like mega BM and just like waited out there and been like, yeah, you know, I'll just wait for you to extract, but